Welcome to another random thought of the day. In today's discussion, random thought actually, I just wanted to share that amazing, fantastic moment that you get when a book or a piece of media is able to perfectly describe your experience. And I first thought that this was something simplistic. I mean, that if you found something that perfectly described your experience, it's because to a certain extent you're just like an egocentric person that is trying to look some sort of like um, they're trying to look for some sort of validation of their own ego and their experience of the world. But now I've come to think it in terms that are a little bit more complex. And it is the fact that more than that, like beyond this egocentric pulsion or whatever that I'm not even sure if it exists or not, it is actually also the possibility to know that you're not alone in your suffering. We tend to believe that the forms of suffering that we're going through are merely our own and that they're not actually part of larger, like phenomenons of the world and that they're being shared and that they're more complex and nuanced and layered. And the fact that you can find a little piece of media that somehow reflects your like experience at that moment, it is so valuable because it somehow allows you not only to find like, hey, I'm not suffering alone and this experience actually belongs to the world and to others, etc. But second, it also sometimes gives you the perspective. Oh my God, I'm not sure if you can hear that. I hope you can't, but it's my cat that just randomly decided to go to the bathroom and he's literally right here. Um, oh my God, that made me lose my concentration. So coming back, it's not only like recognizing that you're part of a larger community and etc., but it is also, and most importantly, also an experience that allows you to even take some distance and think about what you're going through and even how you want to ultimately navigate that situation. So, my random thought of the day is that that is so valuable. It is so valuable when you find a piece, a cultural production, hopefully a little bit more complex than this video or that the brain rot that I'm participating in, that allows you to elaborate your own experience into something that is like intelligible for yourself. And this whole random thought of today, and by the way, I hope you find that piece of media if you're not having it right now. And like more than piece of media, it gets like a book or something, as I said, more interesting than just small videos online. Because I'm not very sure what that actually does to your brain and if it's beneficial compared to other forms of media or art or whatever. But I just hope you find that and that you get the experience to like yeah be in contact with that. But I'm talking about that because I've recently had the experience of having to navigate the job market in Europe, specifically in France, specifically in Paris. And it is a job market that I would say is just pretty complex. I'm not sure. I chose a career that I'm not sure. I'm just having a lot of questions. I had to get like a temporary job in the moment, etc. I've been having a lot of these questions around what am I spending my time doing? What is life? Who am I? Existential crises after doing a postgraduate degree. And I had this wonderful moment of actually finding a book that sort of described my experience and that allowed me to understand it in a very deep and interesting way. And I am so sorry because I do not have the name of this in English, but I'm reading Byung-chul Han. I think that's how you pronounce it. Byung-chul Han. In French, it's called La Société de la Fatigue, which is what like the society. I'm not sure if in English can be something like the Society of Fatigue. I'm really not sure. But I was going through this whole thing of working, of asking myself questions whether I wanted to work or not, and then boom, I remembered him, and I was like, oh yeah, he exists. And as much as I'm tired, like I might be able to read, and I talked to my boyfriend about his work, and then my boyfriend was really kind, and he went and he bought this for me, which I love. And yeah, he actually bought several ones. Like I have that one, but I have another one, which is La crise dans le récit, which I think in English can be like the crises in narrative. Like I'm so sorry, I really don't know. I should have gotten the translations before. But I started reading this and I was like, oh my God. Like every page of this, which, it's considered like I'm in the, I actually studied philosophy and let's say that in like philosophy, this is considered like pop philosophy, which I actually love. There are people who don't like them, they really like their classical philosophy and stuff. But I found this book really nice to read, especially going through a job market that is actually like demanding of you to become, um, like this subject that exploits itself, etc., etc. And I felt like so much comfort. I read it very fast in like one day. I felt like it allowed me to understand my experience better. I felt like it sort of resonated a lot also with like this phenomenon of being a bit addicted to scrolling and being online all the time and then feeling guilty about that. And so I don't know, I just really resonated with this, and it felt like not only awesome to see that exists in the world, like my experience, etc., but like it truly also gave me tools and concepts to understand and to do something about it. I mean, I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do, but it still kind of allowed me to take a bit of a step back and observe the context and the situation. And so I really hope that today any valuable piece of media, whether that is in the form of cinema, books, podcasts, whatever, finds you and sort of like gives you light, how it will give you some sort of light or whatever regarding the experience that you're living in right now, because this has been truly very positive for me at least. And I thought about that because that has happened to me several times with books, and it is something so that at the end of the day it's quite powerful because you feel like if you had allies, like this world is like buried in forms of suffering, and you all of a sudden you feel like, okay, there are allies, there are people that are going through this. This is not the end of the world. Okay, and I think this thought of the day just went to go a bit too far. It became too long. Okay, bye.